First and foremost, congratulations, Bologna. Vincenzo Italiano finally getting his first piece of silverware. But my brother, it was made easy. It was made easy, and the title says it's the end of Milan. It's the end of this treacherous season. It's the end of a season where there was just no planning. A lot of wrong decisions were made. A lot of the wrong players were signed. A lot of the wrong managerial appointments were made. Like, it's just one of those seasons where it's the prime embodiment of if you fail to prepare, prepare to fail. Okay? And it was just so bad, guys. Like, I couldn't believe that final that I was watching. Like, even when they went 1-0 down, I was telling myself, hey, we've seen Milan go 1-0 down. We've seen them. They were 1-0 down just a few days ago at the San Siro to Bologna. They showed some fight. They showed some individual quality. But when it mattered the most, they shat the bed. Because that game in this area a few days ago, it didn't mean anything to Milan. Win, lose or draw, it didn't really mean anything. This was the game that mattered the most. And when they went 1-0 down, that was one of the most pathetic of performances I've ever seen from a team trying to win a game. From a team trying to score. Like, guys, who do I start off with? Let's just start off with the performances. When it comes to Conc Sao, and I've said this many times on this channel, and I know some agree, some disagree. You give him space, time on the ball, he can hurt you. Because Milan have the place to hurt you. Any team that sits back against the Sergio Conceição team, it's cash money. You stop Milan. You look at the dying 20-25 minutes. It was just Bologna sitting back, and Milan, they didn't have an answer. Milan, they were just launching long ball after long ball after long ball. There was no patience on the ball. There was no intricate passes. There were no patterns. There was no instructions what to do, what zone to occupy, how to play with your teammates. Like, do you know how frustrating it was just to see Gabbia, Pavlovic, Tomori, whoever get the ball, launch it long. Bologna win the header, it comes back to the defense. Launch it long, Bologna win the header, and it comes back. It was such a tough watch. It was such a tough watch. Like, it's the end. It's the end. It's the end of a very, 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 very poor campaign. And I'm looking at the players in the final, and I'm telling myself, listen, some of you will be here next year, some of you won't. But this was your opportunity, a get out of jail free card, to get into the Europa League, to have something to play for, some European football next season. But wow. I don't think any of them stepped up to the plate. I think the only person for me, which I felt like Marc Magnan had a good game, even though he wasn't really tested. Like, Bologna didn't really do much, okay? I felt like Theo Hernandez, in my opinion, he had a relatively good game. Everybody else was bad. Everybody else was bad. But in particular, those three centre-halves. Those three centre-halves were appalling. They were shocking. Like, I couldn't believe the technical level that I was watching. Kyle Walker comes onto the pitch. The whole Kyle Walker signing for me gets baffling game after game after game. Kyle Walker, I've never ever seen him make a forward pass in a Milan shirt. Never ever. Besides the useless cross into the box, he would always get the ball, lift his head up, put his hand up, turn around, pass it either inwards or backwards. Okay? Offensively, like Pulisic, I felt like he was overdoing it. I felt like so many times he was delaying the pass. Rafa Leao, he tried, but once again, there wasn't much. Milan created a few opportunities. Jovic in the first half. But listen, did they show any quality? Did they show any penetration? When they went 1-0 down, did they show any fight? No. And I'll be honest with you guys, when you're coming up against a team that's going to give you the ball and just sit back and defend, and you're playing for Conc Sao, you are going to struggle. Because it feels like all that they were instructed to do was get the ball out wide and put a cross into the box. If it doesn't work, go down the left-hand side. Go down the outside, put a cross into the box. If it doesn't work, let's go do it down the right-hand side. That second half performance was a red flag to everybody across the world. What is wrong with this team? Who are the good players and who are the bad players? How much this manager can actually get out of this team? Because in my opinion, he came in, he done well, but like I've always said, the brand of football that he plays, it's not good enough for a club of Milan size. Like, no top team will happily surrender the ball and just try and counter you. And don't get me wrong, counter-attacking is definitely an avenue of scoring goals, okay? But you see the teams where when they do sit back and they try and counter you, those are teams that are compact as hell off the ball. Those are teams that are difficult to break down. Those are teams that press off the ball and they win their duel. So they make sure, even if you have 70-80% of the ball, you can't harm us. But when we do regain possession of you, we can harm you. That doesn't apply to Conc Sao's Milan. Off the ball, they are open. Off the ball, they're toothless. Off the ball, they don't win their duels. I don't think a single Milan player today won a second ball. Every single time it went long, they didn't win the header, and now it was a 50-50 ball in the centre of the field. It was always a Bologna play. It genuinely felt like they were stronger, faster, hungrier. That's what it felt like. That's what it felt like. And, bro, it was a tough watch. I'll be honest with you guys. It was a tough watch because even I went into the game thinking, listen, it's a poor campaign, even if they were to win the Coppa Italia, but at least, you could end the season in some style. You could end the season with 2 pieces of silverware. You could always turn around and say, hey, listen, we were poor, but we still got Europa League football, something to play for next season. Maybe an avenue to get into the Champions League. But boy, oh boy, that performance didn't warrant victory. I'll be honest with you guys. Even if it had gone 1-1 and Milan had smashed and grabbed their way to victory, you'd always turn around and say, listen, Bologna deserved it more because Bologna, they showed that technical level. They showed that physical level. When you look at the goal, how easy it was to play through Milan. Half of Milan's team playing for the offside trap. The other half got no idea what's going on. It's poor. I'll be honest with you guys. And I'm a firm believer in the modern game. One, you have to press. If you're not going to press, you have to be compact as hell. Okay, you have to instruct and guide your team to be good in possession, to be penetrative, for players to be brave in possession. And I was sat watching that game, and I've been sat watching Milan this entire season, okay? And even when they have won, I've come out and told you guys, Milan have just won 3-1. Was it the best of performances? No. Was it the most dominant of performances? No. What won Milan the game? Maybe just some X factor in the final third. Santi Jimenez, Pulisic, Rafa Leao, Tajani Reinders, players just showing that X factor, showing that quality to win their team the game. Relying on individual brilliance has a peak. And the peak is, I don't know, maybe top 8, top 7, top 6 at best. When you go into these games, you're looking at your manager and you're telling them, listen, set me up tactically correct. Listen, tell me where the opposition weakness is. Listen, tell me how to play the game. Tell me which zone I need to occupy. I just felt like it was poor. I'll be honest with you guys. It was so poor. In my opinion on the coach, it doesn't change. I'll be honest with you guys. Conc Sao, my opinion on him doesn't change. I feel like he's done well. I feel like he's done well, bearing in mind walking in halfway into the season, getting them to one final, winning the other trophy. He's done well. But has he reached his peak? In my opinion, yes. I don't see him developing and taking this team any further, whether he has a full preseason or not, whether he gets the transfers that he wants or not. I've been banging on about this entire season. This squad is good. Yes, it needs some improvement. Yes, some players need to get out of here. But it's got some good players. You give those good players to a coach that can focus on their strengths, develop them, and get them to play to their strengths on a consistent basis. Implement a system, a structure, which focuses on his players' strengths. This is a good team, guys. I'll be honest. Yes, it needs some recruitment. Yes, it needs some reinforcements. Yes, it needs some money pumped into it. But there are some good players. And those good players playing the brand of football that Sergio Conceição wants to play, it's not going to work for me. I'll be honest, I've seen this chapter before. I've read this chapter before, so many times where a manager walks in. The brand of football is not good. The team doesn't perform well, but they win games and they win games and they win games. And then they get themselves a trophy which papers over the cracks. And everybody gets sucked in and says, listen, we won a trophy. Listen, we won 5-6 games in a row. Sometimes you need to focus on the deeper things. You need to focus on the deeper things. And for me, Conc Sao, even throughout the Serie A, yes, as of late, 3-4 wins in a row. But even ever since he took over, they've been up and down, the chopping and changing. The fact that he still doesn't even know his best starting 11. For me, nah. I'd be bemused. I'd be shocked if Milan go into next season with him as a coach. These are good players. These are good players with the correct recruitment, with the correct managerial appointment. This is going to sound crazy. The gap isn't that big. I'm not saying the gap between them and Inter for a Scudetto. No, I'm saying the gap between them and competing for a top 4 position is not that big. If they retain their best of players and they appoint a good coach, the gap isn't that big. The defense, I feel like it needs improving. Like Malik Tau, I don't understand why he doesn't play. He's the only centre-half that knows how to play football from the back. Gabbia, shocking. Pavlovic, shocking. Tomori, he got taken on a joyride the entire game. The gap between defence and midfield, now that is tactical, okay? The gap between defence and midfield, the reason why they couldn't win the second balls is because the midfield was so advanced and the gap between them and the defence was massive that Bologna were occupying it. These are things that I look at Conc Sao and say, as a coach, somebody that's been here for 3, 4, 5 months, it's your job to address these things. And they haven't been addressed. Milan, whenever they come up against the low block, they are struggling. It's literally, get the ball to Leao. Let's see if he can manoeuvre. Let's see if he can get himself an opportunity. Put in a cross into the box. For who? For who? It's always one person into the box. It's either Jovic, Tammy Abraham, or Santi Jimenez. It's poor. I'll be honest with you guys. It's poor. I'm not even really using this game as an opportunity to get onto Conc Sao. I've made my opinion on Conc Sao crystal clear throughout the entire season. And I guess now it's in the hands of the Milan board. It really is. And I feel like with Conc Sao, he definitely splits opinions. I feel like some feel like give him another crack. He's been unfortunate. He's inherited a squad which isn't his. And some feel like, listen, the brand of football, the way he manages, like everything about him, it just doesn't suit Milan. I'll be honest with you guys. Sitting back, countering is not a dominant style of football. It isn't. And like I said, it has a peak. And for me, this was the peak. Because when he came up against a good team that wanted to play for something, that were tactically well drilled, he struggled and Milan put on an embarrassing performance. But anyways, if you're new, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to let me know what you think in the comments. And I will catch you guys on another one.